Ever feel like your emotions are on a loop, but you can't quite see the pattern? Journaling can be the mirror that helps you spot what's really going on beneath the surface. In this video, we're diving into how to use journaling as a powerful tool to map your emotional patterns, so you can understand your triggers, track your moods, and respond with more clarity and intention. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell for more grounded tools that help you grow with self-awareness, emotional strength, and clarity. Let's put your thoughts on paper and start making sense of your emotional map, starting right now. 1. Start with a safe, consistent journaling space. To map emotional patterns effectively, journaling must feel like a safe ritual. Choose a dedicated notebook or digital space where you can express yourself honestly without judgment. Create a routine, perhaps first thing in the morning or before bed. The goal is to make journaling a consistent habit, not an occasional tool. This safe space becomes your emotional mirror, where you're free to explore raw feelings, fears, and thoughts. Don't worry about grammar or structure, just focus on flow. When journaling becomes habitual, you begin to spot emotional patterns that were once invisible. 2. Track emotional highs and lows daily. One of the simplest yet most powerful journaling practices is documenting emotional highs and lows each day. Write down one moment you felt emotionally high, joyful, proud, excited, and one when you felt low, angry, anxious, defeated. Describe the situation, the emotions you felt, and what thoughts ran through your mind. Over time, you'll notice patterns. Maybe your lows happen after certain social interactions or highs follow creative work. These observations aren't about judgment, they're data points. Emotional patterns often repeat, and writing them down daily helps you spot trends that might otherwise be missed. With enough entries, you'll begin to see what lifts or drains your emotional energy. This awareness becomes a map guiding you toward more nourishing routines. 3. Use prompts to dig deeper. Sometimes emotions are buried under the surface or masked by routine. That's where journaling prompts come in. Prompts like, "What's been weighing on me?" or "What emotion am I avoiding right now?" guide your brain to uncover thoughts you may not access naturally. Other helpful questions: what triggered me today? What did I need emotionally that I didn't get? Or, when did I feel most at peace today? These prompts work like emotional excavation tools. Use a different one each day or rotate through a list weekly. Over time, your journal becomes more than a diary. It transforms into a map of your inner world, revealing subconscious patterns, unmet needs, and emotional cycles. 4. Label emotions with specificity. General terms like bad or okay blur emotional understanding. To truly map your emotional landscape, be as specific as possible when labeling feelings. Instead of saying, "I'm sad," try, "I feel rejected," or "I feel overlooked." Use tools like an emotion wheel or vocabulary list to expand your emotional vocabulary. This clarity builds emotional granularity, the ability to distinguish between similar feelings like guilt versus shame or anxiety versus fear. The more accurate your labels, the more insight you gain into your emotional patterns. Over time, you may notice that a specific feeling like insecurity consistently shows up in certain environments. These specifics guide better solutions and more compassionate self-awareness. 5. Connect emotions to events and thoughts. Emotions rarely exist in isolation. They're triggered by specific events and shaped by your thoughts. To map patterns effectively, connect each emotion you write about to the situation that caused it and the internal dialogue that followed. Ask, what happened? What was I thinking? And how did I interpret that moment? This process helps you uncover your emotional formulas, repeating combinations of external events and internal responses. For example, being left out of a meeting might consistently lead to thoughts like, "I'm not valued," which stirs feelings of resentment. 6. Highlight repeated triggers over time. After journaling consistently for a few weeks, review your entries and highlight recurring triggers. Look for repeating situations, phrases, or relationship dynamics that spark strong emotional reactions. You might find patterns like always feeling drained after family gatherings or anxious before deadlines. These recurring triggers are emotional flashpoints, your mind's most sensitive pressure points. By identifying them in writing, you remove their mystery and gain power over them. 7. Note physical sensations that accompany emotions. Emotions aren't just mental, they manifest physically too. Anger may tighten your jaw, anxiety might knot your stomach, and sadness can feel like a weight on your chest. Journaling your physical responses alongside your emotions helps deepen your self-awareness. Ask yourself, where do I feel this in my body? And what does this sensation tell me? These patterns often repeat. Your body gives early warning signs long before your mind catches up. By writing them down, you learn to listen to your body as part of your emotional mapping. 8. Reflect on emotional shifts and transitions. Emotional states rarely remain static. You might start your day feeling calm and end it feeling frustrated, or vice versa. Tracking these emotional transitions in your journal reveals valuable insights. Ask, what changed today? What shifted my mood? And how did I move from one emotional state to another? Mapping these transitions helps you understand your emotional resilience and flexibility. You'll see what helps you rebound from difficult moments and what tends to worsen your emotional state. 9. Create an emotional pattern summary monthly. At the end of each month, review your journal entries and write a one-page summary of your emotional patterns. What emotions showed up most frequently? What triggered them? Which tools helped? What needs were unmet? This monthly reflection ties together all your daily notes into a bird's-eye view of your inner life. It also tracks growth. Maybe you responded better to a trigger that overwhelmed you before. These summaries help you spot trends and adapt your coping strategies accordingly. Think of it as compiling emotional data for your personal development. It's like an emotional audit, without the shame, just insight. 10. Transform patterns into actionable strategies. Mapping your emotional patterns through journaling isn't just about understanding yourself, it's about evolving. Once you've identified key triggers, repeating thoughts, and emotional cycles, ask, what can I do differently next time? Use insights from your entries to develop action steps like setting boundaries, adjusting self-talk, or preparing for stressful situations. If social events trigger anxiety, maybe you schedule wind-down time afterward. If self-criticism is a theme, you might develop a daily self-compassion mantra. Your journal becomes your emotional strategy lab, where reflection leads to resolution. All right, that's a wrap on using journaling to map your emotional patterns. Because what you write down, you can finally understand and change. Take a deep breath, open your journal, and remember, your thoughts don't need to stay tangled in your head. Getting them on paper is how clarity begins. If this helped you see journaling in a new way, give it a thumbs up and share one journaling habit or prompt you're excited to try in the comments. And if you are here for more simple, honest tools to build emotional awareness and inner strength, don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss what's next. Catch you in the next one.